Just 6 months after the arrival of the Citroen C3, the Citroen e-C3 is already here. It's the all-electric version of the C3 hatchback, and it promises a range in excess of 300 kilometers on a single charge. We'll talk more about the details of the car. We'll show you what's different on the outside, on the inside. We'll talk about its features and everything else that you need to know in this video. But before we get into that, do remember to subscribe to the channel and click on the bell icon so that you get notified every time new content goes up on Auto Today. Citroen's barely made any changes to the exterior of the C3, so it's very difficult to tell the ICE variant apart from the electric variant, which is the one standing next to us. And unless you're very well versed with the color combinations that you get on the petrol C3, you won't be able to actually tell that this color combination is new. The white roof is something that's exclusive to the e-C3. If you move over to the side here, you'll notice that the charging socket is placed under this flap on the front fender. That's probably the best indication of its all-electric nature. Citroen hasn't even given it that customary blocked off panel replacing the radiator grille. It's again the same as the ICE version. If you move over to the rear of the car, there's that e-C3 badging, which is again your best way to identify this as an electric. And when I say they haven't made too many changes to the car, I mean even the fuel filler cap, which is there in the ICE variant, that is still present. It doesn't open. It's a dummy. They've just stuck to using the same panel as the petrol version, but yeah, that's also present. The alloys are all the same. Another logo to identify this as the all-electric version. Besides that, it looks almost exactly the same as the ICE variant of the C3.
The most prominent change inside the cabin is the toggle to switch between neutral, drive and reverse that replaces the manual gear lever present in the petrol variant. The rest of the cabin has been carried forward as is, including the 10-inch infotainment screen that can pair with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay wirelessly. The digital instrument cluster incorporates EV-specific displays for range, battery level and regen intensity. As is the case with the C3, its electric version has very limited convenience features. There's a manual air conditioner, manually adjustable ORVMs, all 4 power windows with auto down function for all 4, driver's seat height adjustment, 3 USB ports, 1 for the front and 2 for the rear. A welcome addition, something that was missing in the ICE variant, is that of a day-night switch for the IRVM. It's also the only EV we've ever driven that has a physical key to start the car. No engine start-stop button here.
This seat is adjusted to my driving position and my height is 5'8" for reference, and as you can see, there's plenty of knee room, there's plenty of space for me to stretch my legs out underneath the seat. The seating position is slightly more knees up because of the raised floor, because of the battery pack that's spread across the floor of the e-C3. But besides that, everything else in terms of space and the feeling of space remains the same. There's plenty of headroom. The seats themselves are wide enough to seat 3 abreast, but only average size individuals. If they're too big, then it'll be a bit of a challenge fitting 3 abreast, but otherwise the strength of the C3's cabin was space, and all that is still very much there. In terms of boot space, again you get 315 liters of boot space with a spare wheel, so there's no compromise on that front either, despite the switch to electric drivetrain compared to the ICE version. The Citroen e-C3 gets a front mounted motor which powers the front wheels. The power and torque figures you can see on your screen right now is a 29.2 kilowatt hour battery pack, and for city use, for daily driving, it's pretty ample. The 0 to 60 acceleration figure is also pretty okay. In fact, it's quick enough, and especially with electric, since you don't have to wait for the car. Say you're driving an automatic, you don't have to wait for it to drop a gear, so you can move forward. Torque delivery and acceleration is instantaneous almost. That makes it exciting enough in the city and gets you through gaps easily. Of course, we're driving it at a test track in a simulated environment, controlled space, so we can't really talk much about how it's like to drive in the city, how it behaves, how it responds, what the comfort levels are like.
The steering is firmer than what we've experienced in cars this size, but not enough to make it cumbersome to maneuver. With the additional weight, almost 300 kg more than the ICE version, and all of that concentrated lower down, initial impressions regarding the e-C3's handling are quite positive. Still, only more time spent behind the wheel and on public roads is needed to properly judge the car's ride and handling. In terms of regenerative braking, it isn't very strong and there's only one default setting. Aside from the standard drive mode, there's an eco drive mode as well that dulls throttle responses, but the difference between the two drive modes isn't instantly apparent. An ARAI certified range of 320 km on a single charge is a healthy number, although it has to be taken with a pinch of salt. Assuming a conservative real-world figure of 200 km, the e-C3 should fulfill its role of being an urban commuter quite well. It comes bundled with a 3.3 kW portable charger that can be plugged into a 15 amp socket for 10 to 100% charging time of 10 hours 30 minutes. The e-C3 also supports DC fast charging, but only up to 30 kW, and that gives you 10 to 80% charge in 57 minutes. Expected to be priced around Rs 8 to 10 lakh, the e-C3 might just become the cheapest electric car on sale in India, undercutting the Tata Tiago EV, its only rival currently in the market. It does, however, feel built to a cost, and the equipment list isn't very generous either, aspects that are likely to limit its appeal. Its strengths are its SUV-like appearance and space, and hopefully the price will be as well. The e-C3 then works well as a no-frills, honest hatchback for city use that gets you from point A to B while helping you save big on running costs. What do you think of the Citroen e-C3? Is this the electric car that you've been waiting for? Let us know in the comment section below, and if you liked the video, don't forget to give us a thumbs up.